Okay, tent camping, which is a much healthier way to travel or camp than living in a motorhome or something like that, which is just really extremely expensive. But it also requires that you barely can move, right? Because it's too expensive. Okay, I've got a tent, and if you see it, the sun's coming up over here. Okay, so what happens is, by about, I don't know, say 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, this thing starts to be a sauna. So to have enough trees to give shade, you have to have continual shade all the way through the park, which means everywhere's got to be a tree in a way. And they got to be pretty tall trees. And you're not going to get this, but I'm sitting there laughing, trying to figure out how to do it. I was going to take some flags and mark out all the sun here, because I really don't want to be I would never really want to move every day unless I was with my girlfriend or something like that, and we were, I don't know, really nomadically traveling, and I had some help. It's kind of a synergy of doing stuff together. Okay, well, so I got this tent, and I'm trying to get it so that in the afternoon, the shade, I want shade all day long, 24 hours a day. One thing I've been thinking about, see, I got 2 trees here, and I found out that I could buy about a 20-some foot tarp at, where's it called? I could buy it at the tractor place, whatever you call it. Okay, I can buy a 20 thing, so it's about 20-some feet, I think, for about, say, $20 to $30. Okay, then I could hang it between these trees. You can see those 2 trees? I could hang it through these trees, and it would create a shade that would allow my tent to not have any shade. I got indoor-outdoor thermometers for years. I've been traveling with them, and you literally lower the temperature of your house or anything you're in by about approximately 10 degrees Fahrenheit just by having shade on it. So in a way, a proper roof should have a double roof, okay? Enough to put shade and space between the roof. A double roof is a much cooler thing, and I don't know why they don't have these in Florida or anything like that. Mainly because the builders just don't want to, they don't want to deal with this kind of crap. They don't really care. And so I'm trying to figure out what the proper way to do this is, and it's kind of tough because you really need to get like some flags almost and mark this out and get a lot of experience. But see, I have 2 trees here, right? Well, I can't show this tree yet. So this is a tree, and that's the tree. And I could put up from here to here, I could put up a rope across there, tied around, if with permission of the park, right? It's going to look kind of awkward, right? It's not like it's a beneficial thing for the park. But see, the ground level is the problem. So right here, what I got to do is see, there's kind of a spot between the roots right here that's flat, and because I have a cot, well, you got to be careful. I've slept on side of hills, and you'll roll down the hill. I went backpacking when I was 16, and we were on the side of a hill. There was no way to find a place that wasn't a hill. And so you don't want to roll down. Now, so I need a couple spots that are flat enough for the thing. Now the sun moves, right? So again, there's a problem. It's like pretty soon is the first day of spring, summer, and it's going to be, what you're going to do is the sun's going to move. It's going to be 23.5 degrees above the equator and 23.5 degrees below the equator. So the sun's going to start moving in the sky. So you got all these variables, understanding the summer solstice and you got an area when the sun's directly above the equator, sun directly below the 23.5 degrees below the equator, 23.5 degrees below. So in a couple days, June, I don't know, something, it'll be the first day of summer, which would be when the highest in the northern hemisphere, the sun will be the farthest north, okay? 23.5 degrees. In between 23.5 degrees and below 23 is called the tropics, okay? So all this stuff is how you figure out climate. And a home builder should be able to explain this to you. Probably not. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is figure out if this is how I want to move my tent. Moving my tent is kind of onerous right now because I got so many things in there and there's so much sprawling. But I don't know. I got 3 tents. See, the sun is going to come over. It's already heating the tent. So one good part about it is I stay busy all day, all morning, but I really need that tent cooled off all day long to actually passively cool the tent, okay? And this is where building a house, everything needs to be passively cooled. People that build houses are relying on air conditioning, and they're basically making you have a payment really high because they get rid of all the trees and all the protections and all the natural protections. And so over the course of 30 years without trees and stuff, you might pay an extra $100 a month. So $100 a month for 30, 40 years could be a lot of money, right? But trying to get this, so if I was building tiny homes, I would pluck them in between and I wouldn't take down the trees. Any developer that takes down the trees, to me, is just, in a lot of ways, just lazy. Okay, of course, a lot of people don't like the trees because they break up the cement. But the cost of 30 years of extra heat on a house in Florida is a lot more than whatever. So I'm going to try to figure this out. And tent camping can be a lot of fun here because it's very natural. Now, the problem is you actually have to deal with the climate, right? It's going to get up to about 93 today. Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham. I've lived in 114 countries and I've been doing this nonstop for 26 years. I don't have a home. My home is that tent right now. Okay, I'll show you my home. But life is good, and I got electricity on this lot and I got water on this lot, so I'm doing pretty good. The idea of moving every day is the actual travel part of travel is the worst part of travel, guys. It's arriving that's fun, okay? Trust me, as a person that's been in 114 countries, the going between places is seldom that fun, okay? It is a little bit, especially if you're in a high bus and you're on the second level and you're high enough to see the world. Trains are kind of the worst. Planes are the worst, okay? Plane travel means you see nothing of the planet. And if you want to really see the planet, I don't know. It's probably best with a car, okay? I don't know. The higher you are up, the more you see. The lower you are, the less you see. So, you know, my Lamborghini would not be very good for seeing the world. You really want to go slow. So really, I think electric vehicle van with fold-out solar panels might be the best way to do it. Then you could charge up when you're in a place, and then just leave when you're charged up, and it'd be the most economical. And I don't know, I could talk for hours on this, right? Become a Patreon if you want to talk about this kind of stuff. If you have an overactive brain like me, I'm Andy Lee Graham. Patreon. Be a Patreon. It's just for kicks, right? It's for fun.